Good morning. It's 11:04. So I'm 4 minutes late. I was going to try to come on at 11, but it's really 12:04 in our heads because we had the time change. Is anyone out there? What's the deal with the time change? I mean, is it like from the old farming days, or why do we do this? Does anyone know? Because it messes with my head, and it messes with my computers too. As you can see, allow me to complain about something. With Steinberg products, Cubase and Nuendo, when you go through the time change, it has to scan your plugin folders again. Does this happen with Pro Tools and all the other DAWs? Hey John, that's Reaper doesn't do that. I mean, it's crazy. Why does it have to do that? Why does it have to scan the folder and then something, you can't find something and you got to reload it, and it's unbelievable. See, it's doing it right now. Terrible. Come on, Steinberg, what's up with that? I mean, anyway, not complaining. I am complaining, but happy to be on here. I'm going to do a quickie today. Reaper has a very fast startup. That's great. I've heard great things about Reaper. Great things. I hear it also does not tax your CPU. I've been a Cubase Steinberg guy from the beginning, and I'm super fast at it. I love Cubase and Nuendo, but that is my biggest complaint. A lot of great features in it. A lot of great features in all the DAWs. Ableton. Have a lot of friends. Some friends that are now on the what's the one? The Universal Audio new one. Can't remember. Also, I mean, a lot of great DAWs. Burning Marl. Love the channel. Do you have any favorite Martin Birch drum albums, particularly with Rainbow or Black Sabbath? Man, I don't. Lunar. That's right. I don't know. I haven't followed his playing all that much and as much as I should, but recommend some to me because I'm always looking for new drummers, new old drummers. You know, I tend to go out and listen to new guys, but I always go back and listen to my favorites as a kid. Jeff Porcaro, John Robinson, John Bonham. So I need to bust out of that. What else we have? Reaper is also customizable. Very nice. Val Madness. Bobby, what type of effects and compression you use when recording Mutt Lange type of gain vocals? How many tracks it's good to track? I don't normally change up my lead vocal chain to do background vocals. There are a few things I do. I'm going to get into a video about it, but mostly Mutt Lange vocals, it can be a stack of 150 if you really want that huge thing. What I do more than change EQ and compression and stuff like that, I'll change the tone of my voice. A lot of those vocals that are that way, he tends to become a character. Excuse me, and I think I've shown that on a few videos, but hey, walk this way. I mean, it's real, almost a British kind of cartoonish character, but sounds amazing in songs. And where like a lot of background vocals, producers and all that would want you to sing it, you know, the stacks perfectly, just like the last vocal, the same tonality, the same everything. And when it's just me singing 150 parts, I try to change the sound of my voice so they're not all so close together, to create more variety, which kind of makes more natural chorusing and stuff like that. So, walk this way, and walk this way, walk this way. Things like that change the tonality can really help, especially if it's just you singing all the parts. Um, Great question. Thanks, Val. Aaron Drury. I started on floppy disk with Cubasis back in 1996. I'm on Reaper since Cubase 10. Love it. Awesome. Um, my first go at a DAW was Nuendo 1. 1.6, I think it was. Can't remember. Long time ago. Um, a great producer, mixer, Mike Clute, got me started. Built my first computer and got me started. I was on ADAT and a Pro Mix by Yamaha, and got started. And he showed me Nuendo. At that time, you could buy Nuendo, and as much horsepower as your computer had, you could get that many tracks. So I didn't have enough money to buy Pro Tools and, you know, be able to only get 48 tracks or whatever. So I started out on Steinberg and have been on it ever since. Let me see. Big guy. Hey, big guy. Bobby, my Cubase rescans of plugins when the time changes like today. Exactly. Mine does it twice a year. And it, look, you can see in the back, it's doing something. I don't get it. I don't know why it has to do it. Come on, Steinberg. You know, get that. We don't need that. When it happens when you fall back and spring forward. I'm with you, big guy. I did not say drums. Martin Birch is a producer. Oh. Sorry. I missed it. I don't know much about him. But am open to learn. So, I didn't listen to a whole lot of Rainbow, and I didn't listen to a whole lot of Black Sabbath, which I need to. But anyone that has any suggestions for anything that Martin Birch has done, I'd love to hear it, because I'm also looking, you know, I always listen for new producers and new old stuff, new stuff. So many talented people, so much to learn, little things, big things. You know, audio things, tricks, you know, and I love to learn from my own productions and learn for the channel. So, Aaron Drury, how much you do in the box and hardware if you use any? Basically the only hardware I use anymore is front end. I have a vintage Neve mic pre, and I have an API mic pre. If I'm doing other things like acoustic guitar, I'll use those, and I have a distressor. I'll use that a little bit, or an 1176. I also have an LA2A. I also have a SSL stereo bus compressor, and I also have an SSL 16 channels of analog summing. But to be honest, plugins have gotten so good. The speed in which I have to make tracks, mix tracks, do revisions, go back to something I did 2 weeks ago. We need more delay, or can you turn the vocal up or whatever, and then back to today, right now, working on a track, and go to another track that I'm working on currently, and I'm constantly ping-ponging back all week long. So really, I would say, except for front end, I'm 100% in the box now. I don't use any of my outboard compressors for anything other than like maybe an acoustic guitar on the way in. And also, I mean, in my remote rig, I have the Unison UAD plug-in stuff, and I don't even use outboard gear on the way in for that. I plug my mic into my Apollo and use the API strip for that, and it's fantastic. I mean, I can't tell the difference between that and my real API. So, pretty much 100% in the box. John Walker, what's your opinion on the multi-band compression for master bus duties? I used to use it. I used to use the waves, one of the waves. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the C4 maybe. I think it's totally valid. I think it's great. My mindset now is if there are frequencies poking out that I need to use that for, I try to go back in the track and find out the instruments that are, or the vocals that are doing it, and correct it there. But that doesn't make that right. That's just the way I feel more comfortable doing that. A lot of times it's vocals, background vocals that are, or electric guitars that are poking and pinching. I love Soothe, which is kind of a multi-band compressor for that kind of stuff. Dan Corneff has a guitar. God, it was I want to say the Gorilla, or Dan Corneff plugins has a great plugin, and it has a really great sweep. It's a guitar plugin. I can't remember the name of it, but it has a great sweep to notch out really bad frequencies in electric guitars. So I tend to do that more now than multi-band compress on the stereo bus. But that doesn't make me right. That just makes it my way. If you feel that you like multi-band compression on anything and it makes your tracks do better, do it. Chalkstein, would you mix an album where you didn't have any input on the recorded tracks if you got paid for it? Yes, I've done that lots of times. Hey, I'm in the music business, and I love mixing. Mixing is a different kind of pressure than the producer pressure or the writer pressure or the session guy pressure. And sometimes I just like to have the mixing pressure or the mixing fun. And it's usually a bit of both. So yeah, I love it. By the way, thanks for everybody for coming on here this morning. Go check out my store. Go check out the Doctor's Lounge. It's a monthly thing we do where you can sign up and get great drum samples from my hard drive. You can get, I also put stems tracks up that you can write your own songs to. You can take parts of the stems and make your own song, and you can also kind of look at the production that's going on. And then there's another part of it where we can get on a call or a Zoom like this and go over your song, go over your track, go over your production, go over your lyrics, whatever, if you're stuck on something, and we get you unstuck. So check out those two things, help out the channel. I appreciate every one of you. Thanks for being here Sunday morning. Big day in Tennessee for NFL. We lost our main running back and star of our team, Derrick Henry, and they play the Rams today, so we'll see how we do. Anyway, back to music. Where was I? Dave R. Do you get good results with drum software? I'm a new artist and can't afford hiring a drummer. I keep hearing, save your money until you grow your audience. Dave, I get great results with drum software. Programming drum software, drum parts, or triggering drum software from live drums. If you mean that you want, if you're trying to program tracks that sound like a real drummer, if you want those kind of sounds, Superior Drummer 3 is great. Easy Drummer is great. Addictive Drums is great. Slate Drums is great. I'd start with those. Any one of those you're going to go great. And they all have extra packs that you might find the exact sounds you're looking for. So, yeah, man. The drum thing, you get a good drum programmer, and I can't tell anymore on the radio, especially country music, you think it's a live drummer, and it's not. It's Superior Drummer or something like that. I can't tell anymore if it's real or not, if it's a good drum programmer. Because so many of the live drummers, they line up on the grid to be exactly on the grid, and then they put samples on top of those drums. So what's the difference between that and programming drums and locking it to the grid? Nothing. Um, Guys will say, well, with all the ghost notes and all that, well, in a dense mix, you can't hear ghost notes anyway. So I love programming drums. I love playing drums. I have a session this week to do 3 songs. So they're both great. But yes, the answer is you can absolutely get great drum sounds in the box with software. Good question. Thanks. Your channel is amazing. Learnt a lot. Thanks, Mick02910. I appreciate it. Sinners Rise. Dr. Bob, do you do any mixing in heavier rock metal? Some. I'd say the heaviest rock I kind of feel comfortable doing mixing in would be like Shine Down, Papa Roach type stuff like that. Not super metal. Metallica Black Album, that kind of thing. But not, I don't get much heavier than that. I mean, could I mix it? Sure. Haven't done a lot of it, but it's all the same techniques, really. Different EQ set when it gets a little more metal. But yeah, sure. Bill Ribus, how long until you really felt confident mixing? I'll let you know when I do. Man, it's a process. And the way I look at it, Bill, is if you ever feel 100% confident, then you think you've learned enough. And I've always, when I mix a song and I think it sounds great, I'll listen to something that someone else did that like did it a different way, and I'll go, oh God, I got to learn that too. And with new plugins coming out, new mixers, new producers, I'm always trying to learn and push forward. Do I think I can mix a song and it sound good on any system? Yeah. I mean, by this point, I can listen to an artist and kind of understand what they want and mix it, and we might need a round or two of tweaks, but yeah, I can get it. I would say it took me about 5 years of mixing demos, mixing my own stuff, watching other people, asking a million questions. And when I was younger and getting into this, there wasn't really YouTube, and there was nothing to watch like my channel or Rick Beato's, or there was no stuff to watch like that. You kind of had to listen and figure it out and ask older guys. So it took me about 5 years. I would say 5 years. Jav, hello. How's it going, Javi? Body Knowledge, ironically or not, Waiting for a Girl Like You is playing on the radio in the background currently. Hey, Mutt. That song brings back a million memories. I remember being really struck by how amazing the keyboard sounds and how haunting that was. That was my high school, man. And was super aware that that was Mutt Lange. Super aware that his records like that and The Cars Drive, and I'd hear those records and think, man, something is going on here that sounds better than everything else to me. And it was always Mutt Lange. So I would buy those records, and I was always intrigued by what does a producer do? And I could hear things on the radio and pick out guys. Like